I can tell you exactly why your marketing isn't working. After working with over 400 therapists in the last couple of years, I've determined a system to help you diagnose exactly why your marketing isn't working so that you can fix it and double, triple your income in your private practice. In this video, I'm going to be revealing the exact frameworks that I've been using to help clinicians so that you can use it too, and hopefully grow your practice to the level that you desire. So here's an image that my colleague Linda on my team has developed to help clinicians to sort of see this. And if you're familiar with marketing at all, you might recognize these different stages in a marketing funnel. Okay, the reality is it's never the case that when you market towards one person, you're going to get one client. Okay, a lot of therapists think if they pass out one business card, they'll get a client, or if they post on social media twice, they're going to get a new client. That's not the case. Okay, and this is going to help us in a much better way understand, where our practice is at and what we can do to sort of fix it. Okay, so where is the bottleneck? Okay, we're going to look at top of funnel, middle of funnel, and then retention or advocacy. Okay, so when we're troubleshooting, we're going to really look at the entirety of our marketing funnel and say, okay, am I getting enough people to be aware that I exist, right? Am I getting enough people to be interested after they are aware? Am I getting enough people to actually want to move forward? And then am I getting people to take action? Okay. Now, on a call yesterday with clients, I was explaining this from the angle of advertising. I talked about advertising a lot if you watch my videos. And the reason is advertising systems are built out with data imbued within them, which means we have really good data accuracy most of the time, where we can say, okay, for example, on ads, I saw that 5,000 people saw my ads. Okay. Of that, let's say it's 500 clicks. Okay. From that, this might be kind of combined with middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. Of that, I got 50 people who reached out, 50 new inquiries. And of that, I converted 25 new clients, for example. Now, what this essentially means is we're getting progressively less people at each stage of our process. And that's okay, because most of the time we only need 10 new clients, 20 new clients to really, really change our practice. But in order to get that 10 to 20 clients, we need to get hundreds of people to be somewhat interested, right? Or we might get thousands of people to know that we exist, right? And so we can look at the different stages of our marketing process around the lines of numbers and around the lines of, okay, am I getting in front of enough people at each stage? Okay. The important part is at the top of the funnel, right? And what I mean by that is a funnel is just, something that takes the top inputs and puts it through a process that makes smaller outputs come out the bottom. A funnel could also be a bit of a filtering mechanism, right? So we can have not as qualified people come in through the top, and by the bottom, we'll have our ideal clients pop out the bottom, okay? What this means is at the top, we just need people to be aware that we exist, right? We'll do things on social media where we'll do some local marketing to get therapists out into their community so people know that they exist. And it doesn't need to be very explicit of, hey, you have to join my practice now, right? These are not people, not a lot of times we're putting out messages that are really, really getting people to know them in depth, right? We're just trying to reach as many people as possible. The reason is a lot of times that's really, really great. You want to still have quality messaging so people know what you do, they're interested in potentially moving to the next step, right? But at the top of the funnel, we're just trying to make sure that enough people know we exist. Psychology Today is another example where you can see your metrics for how many impressions your page gets. If it gets 0 impressions, you don't really need to worry as much about some of the copywriting. You need to figure out, okay, what's the mechanism by which nobody's getting this seen? Sometimes we see people, they'll rework their Psychology Today for a day and it'll pop it back up in the algorithm. Okay. You need to have a little bit of an understanding on where in your process it's sort of broken down. And most of the time that means getting more people to see you at each stage. Okay. Now, when we talk about interest, desire, consideration, what does this mean to move someone down the funnel? What it means is you can take people who are vaguely aware of what you do and who you are and get them to a place where they're actually interested in working with you specifically. Okay, so how does that work? One example, I think social media is a good example of this, where you can create posts, you can collaborate with other people. Let's say you work with eating disorders and you do a collaboration with a dietitian who has a big following on social media. And so you start to get a bunch of new followers because you're consistently interacting with this other account and sharing stuff across your guys' profiles. One of the ways to start, moving people down the funnel funnel towards actually wanting to work with you is to put content on your page that nurtures those people. A great way that I like to think about it is if you know how to write, if you can point people to blog posts where they can spend 30 minutes reading about how you think about the world, reading about how you generally work with people, that's going to create some really engaged potential clients, right? And whether or not they decide to work with you, some of them will want to take that step forward a little bit more, go to your website, check out a little bit more about what you do before eventually deciding to reach out, okay? But you're making different content at different stages of your funnel, right? The top of the funnel would be collaboration, getting in front of a new audience. And then in terms of nurturing those people into actually wanting to work with you, it'd be creating written content. It'd be creating, thought leadership about kind of how you operate, how you think about the field and how you think about treatment of clients, right? In ways that's going to be beneficial for your clients and helping them to be more aware of what's going on, right? Bottom of the funnel might be something a little bit more explicit where you do say on your story on Instagram, for example, hey, I'm looking for 2 new clients that are potentially wanting to start. If that's you, click to my website right now. There is a way for you to reach out to me through my form. That would be an example where rather than saying, all right, on social media, I need to make posts, we're saying, okay, how do I get in front of new people? From there, from all the people that know me, how do I nurture them, or how do I make them know me more in a way that makes them more attracted to me, essentially, which one of the ways to do that is to prove you know what you're talking about, right? To provide some quality content for them. And then bottom of the funnel, when people are kind of ready, don't make it hard for them, okay? Give them the opportunity to take that step towards you. Don't make your website hidden. If you're trying to get new clients, you want to make that pretty present in the way that people are finding you, okay? The same process can apply across directories, Google Ads, can apply across relationship building, right? It's different if you're trying to build out relationships in your community of talking to the first person versus nurturing relationships versus, learning from your mistakes and learning who is a good person to connect with and who isn't a good person to connect with, and then iterating from there. Okay. So I hope this is making sense. When I work with a client, I'm essentially looking across their entire process. I'm saying, what did you do last week? Okay. How much of that did you do? What were the results? If you talk to somebody, like, what did they say? What was their experience going through it? If they're getting new inquiries, I'm saying, how did that client find you? I'm telling people, ask them on the phone, like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, how did you find me? Because this gives you more knowledge for improving your process. Okay. All right, from here, I want to share another framework that you can use to actually improve your marketing in your practice, okay? We need to first troubleshoot. We need to understand what's going wrong, but then from there, we need to get better, okay? A good piece of advice I heard from another entrepreneur that I want to share is, it's not that you're not good enough, okay? If you're marketing and your marketing isn't landing, it's not that you're not good enough. It's that you haven't had the repetitions yet, okay? I played soccer in college and my touch wasn't great in certain ways, and so I went to the squash court and I passed the ball against the wall 10,000 times and it got 3% better or 4% better. The reality is, if you haven't done this before, it's going to feel the worst. You're going to get the worst results. But if you can get through that process and you can just get better, that's how your marketing is going to improve, and that's how you're going to get new clients coming in. Obviously, it helps if you can talk to people who know what they're doing, because they can help you to unlock that a little bit more. As we're looking at this is the other framework that I wanted to share. When we're thinking about, I was talking about with some clients yesterday how to plan out your business like a CEO. And I talked about, creating a goal for the practice. Okay. If you want to make 10,000 in a month and you're at 4,000 right now, talk about, or plan on trying to hit 5,000 in a month or 6,000 in a month. And in order to do that, look at your numbers. Okay. I need to add 5 new clients in order to do that. Okay. In order to add 5 new clients based on my previous data, I need to get 10 new people to reach out to get 5 new clients. Okay. What do I need to do to have 10 new people reach out? Okay. And hopefully you have some ideas on what that is, because this is a process for improving based on that. Okay. So more, I'm gonna look at this, better and new. All right. So once you've started marketing in your practice and we're talking about improving, what I would recommend is you look at your numbers weekly and you say, okay, last week I wanted to get 2 inquiries. I want to get 8 for this month or 10 for this month, and I got 1 or I got 0. Okay, what do I think I can do differently? Do I think I'm on the right path and just unlucky this week, I'll get 4 the next week? What is it going to take for me to improve my process? And then when we're thinking about, really getting better at marketing, I want to apply this framework. Okay, let's say something is working and we're getting 4 inquiries a month from some avenue. Let's say it's advertising. We're going to go more and then better and then new. Okay. I like to start with more. Because most of the time when you have something that's working, you're doing something that you know is causing a result of new clients to come in. If we can just simply do more of it, we're going to have the easiest possible path to increasing the business. Okay. If you build relationships with people and that has gotten you clients, if you can systematize that and you can do a lot more of it, I can bet you a lot of money that's going to get you more clients. Okay. There's a lot of times what I advise clinicians, or I help them sort of figure out their time and where it's going so that we can increase the output per hour of time. That's just about doing more of the thing. Okay. It's not about drastically improving. On the other hand, if we look back at this funnel and if you get 5,000 people to know you exist, and nothing's happening and you've been doing that consistently, then I'm really going to say, hey, it's more about getting better at what we're doing. Okay. If I use that social media example again, the messaging you're putting out, if you are writing blog posts, making sure that people actually click to them and they're looking at that, or people are consuming your content, just getting better at the thing you're already doing usually can help to double, the inquiry flow or really improve your practice. And the reason why is we're just improving our sort of conversion rate. We're improving the amount of people who take the next step towards you, right? If someone has to take 4 steps towards you to eventually reach out as an inquiry, then we're getting twice as many people to take the second step, which means that twice as many people will take the third step and the fourth step within the process. If we cannot do more of what we're already doing, or it's not quite working, then we're going to move to doing better at what we're currently doing. Okay. We're going to try to improve our process, which means becoming a better marketer, having better quality pictures, having better quality copywriting. These are all things that make your process better. Okay. And if we can't do either of those things, or if nothing is working, then we'll move to new stuff. Okay. Sometimes therapists come to me and they're trying to do 20 different marketing strategies. I way prefer doing less and getting more. Okay. You would do new if you don't have anything that's running right now. If you're running your practice and you're not doing any marketing, then I would recommend you do marketing if you want to grow. Okay. But new would be the last thing. So this is the general process I'm going to look at. What is somebody doing? I want to get some qualitative understanding of where in the process they are. And then from there, I'm trying to apply this framework. Can we do more? Can I help them tweak their messaging so that they're actually going to get people to want to reach out? So they're not being kind of weird and extra clinical, but being a normal human being, right? And sometimes if things aren't quite working, we'll add on a new strategy, right? Most of the time we're doing more and we're doing better. All right. We can look at the customer journey too. This is another example. Postcards, flyers, social media posts in the feed, networking. These are all examples of awareness. Okay. When people start to like your content on social media, or people start to look up your website, people start to Google you, people start to follow you on social media, or they sign up for an email list. These are examples of interest, okay? When they actually start putting a lot more time consuming your content, right? Or engaging, or looking up your Google My Business, right? Looking up reviews. This is where people start to take that sort of mid-step, right? They might be checking out your website multiple times. And then finally, somebody inquires at the end of that, right? So where most people get stuck is they're only focused on this. They're only focused on why aren't people calling? They're not focused on all of these different mid steps, right? And helping to make sure that more people actually know about you, like you, trust you before we're thinking about clients. We're just getting in front of more people in a quality way. That's essentially what breaks up the client journey. Like I said, the reason I think I'm quite good at this is because I've done it so many times, right? And I've looked at people in every single corner of the country and I've said, okay, what if we did this? What happens, right? And they report back to me what happens, right? And I have so many data points because I've seen so many people try stuff that I sort of know, okay, for the least amount of time, what's going to get people the highest return? Or if we're going to set up an ad campaign for you, what is the least amount of time we can put in to get the highest return for you, okay? It's not about just hard work. It's about understanding the process by which people get to know other people and other brands, right? And trying to speed run that process for you. Now, the reality is marketing does take time. So if you just started marketing yesterday and you don't see any results yet, that might just be completely normal, okay? But if we've been doing it for a couple weeks or a couple months and it's not quite going as fast as we want it to go, if we can run an analysis through our process and how people are seeing us, we're going to improve, okay? If we can apply our learnings consistently, we can have a feedback loop towards action and reaction and improvement, then we're going to have a really, really successful practice. Okay. So hope you enjoyed this video. This is something that, I can geek out on for a long time, is improving the marketing process within our business. Obviously, if you want us to install our marketing systems for you, there's a link in the bio. You can go ahead and click that. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.